today. Thank you. And I just want to say, I pulled this group together today because it's important to me that we're speaking clearly and directly to our residents about Baltimore County's ongoing snow removal and recovery efforts, and about what they can expect from us in the days ahead. I'm joined here behind me by leaders from the Department of Public Works and Transportation and members of our Baltimore County team. Everyone here is focused on the same goal: making sure our communities are safe, accessible, and receiving the essential services they rely on. As Baltimore County continues to dig out from the historic snowstorm we experienced 2 weeks ago, one of the largest snowfalls and the longest stretches of sustained freezing, very low weather temperatures we've seen in more than a decade, I want residents to know that we are continuing to do everything possible to clear roads and keep county services moving. The Department of Public Works crews are working around the clock to clear snow and ice from roads, haul snow out of neighborhoods, maintain trash collection, and respond to residents concerned. Many of you have seen this work happening firsthand in your communities, and I want to be clear, this progress is happening because of their dedication, long hours, and commitment to serving our residents, which is of utmost importance. Our goal is straightforward. Every road in Baltimore County needs to be passable, and every household needs to have reliable trash collection. While we're encouraged by the progress made so far, we're also asking for continued patience at this work as it continues. Recovery from a storm of this magnitude takes time, and we're committed to doing it safely and thoroughly. To help address concerns and provide clear updates, I've asked DPWT Director Lauren Buckler and other members of our county team to be here today to talk about our progress, next steps, and how we're working to fully restore road conditions and pick up services while keeping people safe. So thank you very much for your time. And I would just like to say, I'll turn it over to Director Buckler.
Thank you, Madam County Executive. I just want to remind everybody, again, this has been 10 straight days of sub-freezing temperatures. This has been a decade since we had a storm of this size, and even 10 years ago when we had a storm of this size, the temperatures didn't stay this low for this long. So the snow isn't melting. You can see the piles behind me. It's not going anywhere. It's solid. It's solid blocks of ice at this point. We've had crews working since the storm started. They've been working 12-hour days. Initially, they were working longer shifts. They've backed down to 12-hour days. We are trying to make sure the roads are passable. Passable isn't curb to curb. Passable is passable with a vehicle. We want to remind everybody that we've got 400 to 600 crew members working these 12-hour shifts. I want to thank you to all those crew members. They're doing an amazing job. At our complaint level, we have had 38,000 complaints. 3,800 complaints. 3,800 complaints. Since the snow started. Of those at this point, we're down to 1,100 remaining open. That's pretty great, from the 3,800 down to 1,100 open. We are calling back in contractors to help us with those 1,100 that are still open. Of those 1,100, some of those are not things that are the county's responsibility. So as we work through those, I just want to remind everybody that alleys are private, sidewalks are private, state roads are the state's responsibility. The county is working to make sure the roads are passable. The Baltimore County operated 2,700 lane miles of roads are passable. So that's what we're looking at when we go out to close these complaints. So of those, again, 1,100 left out of the 3,800. Not all of those are going to be issues that the county's going to be able to resolve, but we are bringing in contractors to help us resolve what we haven't resolved at this point. We expect them all to be resolved within the next 48 hours to what the county can do. We want to emphasize that all roads are different. Some roads have street parking on both sides of the street. If your car is still snowed in, the county doesn't unsnow your car. If you unsnow your car into the roadway and then it looks like we didn't plow, but there's a nice clean car next to that spot, you know, we have records that show that we've been down that road. We'll come back down again. We're happy. If you give us a call and we need to clear it again, we'll clear it again. But realize we've been down as people unshovel their cars. It may look like we haven't been there, but we'll come back if you give us a call. Please call any concerns into 311. It's the easiest centralized way to get all the concerns coming into one spot for us to work through them. We are looking into sand options and sand distribution for our residents to help them as they clear their sidewalks and their alleys. We'll have more details forthcoming on that, but we will be doing that at our solid waste facilities. So at Halethorpe, the Eastern facility, and Cockeysville facility, we'll have sand pickup. We'll be providing more details on when that will be happening, but we're working on those logistics right now. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Nick Rodricks. Nick Rodricks is the Bureau Chief for Solid Waste under the Department of Public Works and Transportation, and he's going to talk about our alley pickup challenges.
Thank you, Director Buckler. Yep, I'm Nick Rodricks. I'm the Bureau Chief of Solid Waste for Baltimore County, and I'll keep this relatively short. Most of our issues with trash collection in the county, at this point, we've done a really good job of getting through a lot of these concerns. Of our 800 issues that have been called in, we've resolved all but about 200 at this point. The majority of those are in alleys. So since this entire week, we've been on a standard pickup, so your collection days are staying the same. So whatever your collection day is normally, please continue to put your trash out on that day, including recycling. Where we've mostly had issues are in alleys, where, you know, mostly these alleys are iced over. We can't safely get trucks down them. If that is the case for a resident, starting tomorrow on your normal collection day for trash, so if you have a Thursday day that you normally set your trash out, you may move that trash to the end of the alley for collection. Okay, so normally you'd set it out behind. If you have alley collection, you may move that trash to the end of the alley and our crews will come through and pick it up. When you set that material out, try to set it to the side of the alleyway at the entrance so that we can get through, that there's still access, but we will collect from the end of that alleyway. Also, if you do set trash out, normally we require that trash is set in a can, but for this coming week, if you do set trash out in a bag, we'll make sure to collect it. So this is mostly for people, again, who have alleyways and are struggling with alley collection. You can set that material at the end of your alley and we'll collect it. For the most part, everybody else in the county now, if you have front side collection, we've been able to get to it. But just as a reminder, make sure that your cans are accessible. They're not still frozen shut. There's not snow piled on top of it. And I'm very proud of the haulers who have continued to work around the clock to try to get everything cleaned up. And if you do have continued concerns, please just call into 311 and let us know how and when we can help. Thank you.
Questions?
Yeah, I have a question. For people who are concerned about some of the sidewalks, I know we've had stories from people who are sending their kids back to schools that are walkable. Some of those sidewalks that aren't necessarily in residential areas are in areas where it's the residents' responsibility to clear them. Is that the county's responsibility? And if so, is there any effort to clear off sidewalks to make safer paths for students to be able to get to schools that have walkable access, if that makes sense?
The sidewalks clearance by code is really the responsibility of the property owners.
I'm Pete Gutwell. I'm the Director of Permits, Approvals, and Inspections, and we deal code enforcement. So in the code enforcement regulations, it's the responsibility of that property owner. As soon as we receive a complaint regarding that, we go out, we inspect, and then we give them a correction notice, and they have 48 hours to clear that. To date, we have about 218 complaints, and we've given correction notices to about 186 properties. But they are given, that 48 hours to clean up that property.
And I know some of the challenges with clearing the roads is that a lot of people are still parking in the streets. Some people haven't moved their cars since the storm. Is there anything you want to tell people to kind of encourage them to help you all while we're continuing the efforts to get the snow out of the roadways?
I think we want patience here. I get it that there's roads where there is only street parking, and there's cars that haven't been moved, that haven't been shoveled out. There's cars that have been shoveled out, and there's a spot left for them to come back to. I think we all need to be reasonable about the expectations there. We are plowing to make the roads passable again, but if you see your neighbor's car still snowed in, we can't plow that section of the road because there's a car there. So we can only plow where there's clear road for us to get to and plow. If you can park in your driveways, great, that helps us out a lot. If you don't have a driveway, we get it, we're making the road passable in the drive lanes.
You mentioned school bus stops, and how is that going as far as clearing that out, and any message to parents who might be a little bit worried possibly sending their child out to, if they don't have a driveway, they got to go to the end of the road or anything like that. Have you gotten complaints there and been clearing things out like that?
I completely understand. I've got 2 BCPS elementary school students. They're standing next to a snow pile too. Work with your neighbors to clear out a spot that's safe for them to stand. Stay with them. Safety first. I know the school systems put out messages on this too. The safety of your children is important. It's important to you as a parent. It should be important to you as a community. Most of these school bus stops are in driveways, in the sidewalk, in front of somebody's house. You just heard Director Gutwald. They're working to notify property owners that these sidewalks need to be cleared. But if you've got a neighbor that need help, offer to help them out to make the spot cleared so it's safe for your children to be there.